Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Jamuna Tira Jamuna Tira Jaya ki. Kantarashram Bhagavatam ki. Lake Bindu-sarovara was adorned with flowering trees such as kadamba, campaka, ashoka, karanja, bakula, asana, kunda, mandära, kutija, and young mango trees. The air was filled with the pleasing notes of kärandava ducks, plavas, swans, ospreys, waterfowl, cranes, cakraväkas, and cakoras. Purport. For most of the trees, flowers, fruits, and birds mentioned here are surrounding Bindu-sarovara Lake. English synonyms cannot be found. Okay. All the trees mentioned are very pious in that they produce a nice aromatic flower, such as the campaka, kadamba, and bakula. The sweet sounds of waterfowl and cranes made the surrounding area as pleasant as possible and created a very suitable spiritual atmosphere. Omagantimidantasya gyanana shalakya chakshumitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vanchakapatarubhischa Kripasindhuvyeva Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So one can understand the artistic nature of the Lord by seeing how many varieties of birds there are. You know, the different colors, the shapes, the way the sounds they make. Then we can understand how the Lord is so artistic. We hear about these different flowers and different plants and trees. They're considered very pious because they give so much nice aroma coming from them. So we know of the kadamba flower. So this flower is like a ball and it's yellow in color. It's like a ball with so many not spikes, but like sort of strands coming from it. So it looks like a ball. Sometimes Lord Chaitanya is described when he's in ecstasy and the hairs are standing on end, he looks like a kadamba flower because he's golden. Like that. Champaka is like a frangipani, is it? Champaka?
It's a small yellow flower.
It's a small yellow.
Yeah, it's small and it's got sort of thin leaves. Also golden in color.
Golden in color as well. It's not like it's not like a frangipani.
No, it's smaller and thinner. It's more delicate.
More delicate. Nice smell.
Are you going to Durban?
Huh? Durban, yeah.
Yeah, they've got them.
They got a champaka.
This little going out here comes from.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Very beautiful as well. Very great. Yes. And here we go. Ashoka. They also have them in Durban as well. The ashoka trees. So this ashoka trees is famous from the Ramayana. So when Sita was stolen by Ravana, so he kept her captive in the ashoka grove. These trees were there. That's why she was kept captive. So we can remember Sita Ram. We can remember how Ram rescued Sita from the ashoka grove. These other ones, karanja, I don't know. Do you know? This one? No. Bakula sounds. No. Bakula is where in Jagannath Puri, there's Siddha Baku, where Haridas Thakur would stay in Jagannath Puri. Because Haridas Thakur, he was born in a Mohammedan family. So social customs with Hindus is that you don't associate with them or they're even low class. So Haridas Thakur, he was the most elevated personality. He was known as the Namacharya, the teacher, official teacher of how to chant the holy name. He would chant 300,000 names of Krishna every day. something around like 192 rounds. Can you imagine? They're struggling with 16. 192. So it pretty much nearly takes the whole day. But he'll never give up such a vow. So he would chant like this, and he even followed Mahaprabhu from Navadvip to Jagannath Puri with all the other devotees. And then when Mahaprabhu was staying in his quarters, I think he stayed with Gopinathacharya or Tapamrishi, I can't remember. So wherever he was staying, he would stay there, and all his associates were there. But then Mahaprabhu, where is Haridas Thakur? Where is he? And he's at a distance, outside, just paying obeisances. And there was like a custom that only Hindus can enter the Jagannath Puri temple, and no Muslims were allowed. Or if you're non-Hindu, you couldn't. Even now it's like that. So Haridas Thakur, even though he was so exalted, he didn't need to follow such customs. He didn't want to disturb it. So he always kept a distance, just because of his birth. So Mahaprabhu said that it's okay, you stay in this place called, under this bakula tree. It's still there, you can go there. It's called Siddhabaku. And Mahaprabhu would visit him every day. So he's told Haridas Thakur, it's okay, you can just pay obeisances and take darshan of the chakra on top of the temple. It's the same as seeing the Lord directly. And you can pay obeisances that way. So he would stay there and chant 300,000 names. And Mahaprabhu would come and see him. And Mahaprabhu is also Krishna himself, in the mood of a devotee. So the Lord himself would come and see him. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, this is Prabhupada's guru, he said, don't try and see God, act in a way where God wants to see you. So Haridas Thakur was the example of that. And where he stayed was called the Siddhabaku under a bakula tree. And you can go there and you can maybe steal a bit of bark from that tree, put it in your japa bag. I did that, but then when I went to Australia, they have really strong customs. They found it in there. They found it. They go, hey, you got some, some sort of branch in there. I go, oh no, yeah, we can. You can't take that. It's so strict.
Border patrol.
Yeah, you watch Border Patrol. Yes. So we can remember the Haridas Thakur when we hear about a bakula tree. Asana tree, is it a tree or flower? Tree. Kunda, I don't know what that is. Mandära, kutija, young mango trees. Mango trees are always an opulence, right? Imagine we just had mango trees here. You feel like a king, In our farm in Australia, it's called New Govardhan, everywhere there's mango trees. And there's just so many of them. And one devotee, he had so many mangoes that he got mango poisoning. I heard another story, devotees in Mayapur, the Gurukuli kids, they had so many mangoes that they had so many boils because it heats up your body so much. So their body just had covered in boils. But yes, mango is like known as the king of fruits. Has many analogies that are put out. Even the Bhagavatam is described as like a mango fruit, a fruit that has no skin and no seed. Can you imagine a mango like that? And it's easily swallowed. So sweet. And there's a place in Navadvip, in Mayapur, called Amgata. So a pastime took place where they were doing Sankirtan and dancing like crazy. And everyone started getting tired and hungry. And Mahaprabhu could see that, So then he got one mango seed, put it in the ground, and straight away this tree appeared with these huge mango fruits, as big as your head. And these mangoes had no seed. So then the devotees were eating these mangoes there. And there's still that place there, and it's just mango trees everywhere. Like this. Says here that the air was filled with pleasing notes of the kandava ducks, plavas, swans, ospreys, waterfowl, cranes, cakraväkas, and cakoras. So yes, birds make wonderful sounds. Some birds don't. We have in Australia cockatoos, and they just squawk like really loud, and early in the morning, it can be like 3 in the morning, and they just go quack, 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 like this, and you cannot sleep, there's no hope. And they're really funny. They're just like, they'll hang upside down, and they don't fly straight, they're kind of just like this, and they're white with this yellow mohawk, you know?
Cockatoos.
Yeah, cockatoos. So maybe there wouldn't be under the pious. I wouldn't think so.
We have party dogs.
Is it also the same? They make noise?
They just make a disgusting sound and they look really cool.
Yeah.
At least the cockatoos get you up from under that.
Yes, they do that. So, but we have, there's magpies, and they have a very nice whistle. It's like very melodious. Something like that. I can't do it, but if you can type it in. And then also, of course, the peacocks. They have wonderful, they always remind us of Vrindavan and Krishna. That is call. I will not try because, I'll try. I can't do it. This voice is not working. Can you do one? No? Okay. We'll try that. You can listen to it and maybe you can search it. The sound of a peacock. So yes, we can see that this is real life, living in the forest and interacting with nature. You know, this is the mode of goodness, the forest. And it's very conducive for spiritual life. Actually, the sages who lived in the forest had a very beautiful hermitage. It wasn't just like a shack or a cave and that was it. But to make it very nice, they had beautiful gardens. Water features, something very, something that reminds you of like some sort of like spiritual retreat center or something like that. So they'll have very nice gardens and flowers everywhere, and
Like a spa.
yeah, and then you can imagine next to like this beautiful lake, and waterfalls, and so they'll keep it like that. And this is where Kadamba Muni was staying. And this is how they practice their austerities. Whereas in the cities, in modern times, it's very hard to practice meditation, surrounded by concrete everywhere. And, it's rare to see animals like freely roaming around, especially in the West. Maybe in India you still see cows and bulls and monkeys and stuff. But very rare to see animals and interacting with them in a very friendly way. So we can see how piety creates a great atmosphere for all living entities. Ultimately, piety means to live a God-centered life and understand that God resides in the heart of all living entities. And then we should at least allow them to exist. At least that. In India, they still have this understanding. For example, like say, you put your motorbike, you park your motorbike and then you go to some shop or something. And you come back, someone's sitting on your bike, just sitting there. But in India, like you hear a noise, hey, what are you sitting on my bike for? It's my bike, But in India, it's okay. Someone needs to sit. They can sit there, it's okay. So like you'll sit, say you sat on someone's motorbike just to take a rest. So the owner will come, he will not say a thing. He'll just say like, oh, he's sitting there, okay. And then he's sort of there, and then he'll let you sit, and he won't like disturb you. And you just go, okay, I gotta go now. So then you can take your time, okay. And then he'll go, he will not say a thing. Like, hey, excuse me, this and that. It's just like, yeah, I gotta go now. Okay. It's like, okay, you can exist in this spot. It's not mine, I'm not using it at the moment. You can sit there, no problem. Even to the point you can go like in front of someone's house and usually they have these rope beds that they sit on, and that, you know, a whole family would just be hanging out in front of the house, you know, on the rope bed. You can come, complete stranger, even if you're like foreigner, you can come and sit right next to them, like full right next to them, and no other thing. They'll just look and then, okay, it's just, you know, like you're part of the family all of a sudden, you know. And they would not say a thing. They wouldn't, and you don't have to talk to them. You're not obliged anyway, you know. But they feel like, okay, here's a guest. They'll come to the point where they'll probably give you another cushion, bring some water like this. You know, nothing will. There's no sort of like, what are you doing here? Or can we get you something? Or like, and you come, oh, can I sit here? You don't even have to do that. Everyone's allowed to exist. You know, we sort of feel like, no, you can only exist if I decide you can exist. So this is coming from envy, actually. And Guru Govinda Maharaj gave a very nice story in relation to envy. There's two stories for envy. The one we know about more. So there's one day, there's this man, and he gets like a lamp, and there's a genie, you know. So he gets a genie in the lamp, rubs it away. Okay, I will give you anything you wish. Okay, great. But your neighbor will get double. That's okay. So then he goes, he wishes for, yes, I wish for a Ferrari, you know. And here you go, here's a Ferrari, wow. And then the neighbor's got two. I go, okay, whatever, you know. And then he goes, I wish for a 4-story golden mansion. And he's like, okay, here you go, like that. But then the neighbor had like 8 stories. It was so big, it was covering the sun, you know, like this. And then he was feeling like burning with jealousy and envy. So then he called for the genie, and he had a great idea. He goes, hey genie, come here. He goes, yes, I wish that you take one of my eyes. So envious. Another story of envy is what we were talking about more. So one day there was this lamb who was drinking from a stream, and the stream was going down like this, and he's drinking. And then a wolf comes, and he says, hey you lamb, get your dirty snout out of my water. You know, this is my water, so you can't drink it. He goes, no, it's fine. I'm not drinking your water. I'm downstream from you, so it's not a problem. I'm not contaminating it for you. And he goes, what? I tell you, go away now. You give me some, you know, some smart words, and you did the same thing last year. You know. And he goes, no, Mr. Wolf, I wasn't even born last year. That's it. For this, I will eat you. Wouldn't even allow him to exist. So we see that on a international level, you know, with the wars and occupation of land, you know, even a small piece of land, so much war and people have to suffer, you know, countries like Israel and Palestine. It's like, no, we just don't want you to exist. So now we're going to take your land. You know, America is great for that. You know, they'll play the victim card. Oh no, you're a terrorist, so now we can take your land and your resources. Australia is famous for that too. So pretty much the first world created the third world, because every country had what they needed, enough. But in order to satisfy greed, they have to go and invade other countries and take their resources. Africa is famous for such, being rich of resources, but countries like Europe and America have been just plundering its resources. Like if you look up a country like Chad or something, or Mali, you know, it's like the economy is like terrible and they're all poverty stricken. But it's a great resource of like oil or diamonds, or like Congo has cobalt, you know, for all the phones. You know, so shouldn't they be rich? You know, if they have all that? No, someone's taking it and making a profit out of it. So this is the nature of envy. But the opposite is to to understand that they have a connection to God, the animals, other people, and that I should, if you have love for God, automatically you'll treat people and things exactly how they should be treated. You know, there's no separate endeavor of like, oh, now I have to look after the environment, oh, now I have to look after the animals, now I have to care about humans and women. No. If you just care about the mission of God and carry His will, be an instrument of that, all those good causes are taken care of. And everyone becomes happy. This is like watering the root of the tree. This is what takes place. You know the example, watering the root of the tree? So some people may think that serving God alone means you miss out on what you need, maybe your family, you know, you kind of neglect everyone and I'm only going for God. But no, actually everyone benefits. So you could water each leaf, twig and branch, right, of a tree, but it won't properly nourish it. So that's like you're, you know, trying to go for the environment, trying to go for your family, trying to look after so many different things, worshipping demigods, all 33 million of them. Can you imagine? You go to one temple, all 33 million are there. And you have to go to each one and offer something. Yeah, the long puja. But no, you don't have to. If you water the root of the tree, if you serve Krishna and His will, then everyone gets satisfied beyond their own capacity. This is the one switch that turns all the lights on. So, yeah, this is what Bhakti Yoga is all about. It saves a lot of time and energy, and it's very natural. You know, the happiness you get from it is real, and you naturally want to spread it, that happiness. It's not like it's not like you just keep it for yourself. Actually, the more you give, the more you get. Kadamba Maharaj describes that when you first come to Krishna consciousness, you get what's called a nectar cup. It's a very small one. And then you use it for catching nectar, you know, like the kirtan, oh yeah, you know, or the prasadam, wow, so nice, so happy. Oh, the darshan, wow, you know, like this. So you're always catching nectar, and you're so ecstatic because you never experienced this happiness before. But once you use your nectar cup for catching nectar and giving it to someone else, then your cup gets bigger. So then you can catch more nectar and dive deep into Krishna consciousness. And then you can give more. And then it gets bigger. And you catch more, drink it. And then, you know, catch more, give it, like this. To the point where you're sort of just drowning in nectar of devotional service. So that's why you find those who are actively preaching, you see them very enthusiastic to, you know, to get into deeper Krishna consciousness. So that was a short purport. So should I continue on to the next one, or do you want to discuss? Yeah, let's discuss.
Before we said watering the roots directly and watering the branches. So what happens if? What did you say to watering the roots, but at the same time, you know, wanting to keep the leaves clean and still do? That's how I feel sometimes. Where I understand the importance of watering the roots, but I suppose it's just my human nature that still wants to go outside and, you know, please myself in some ways. Yeah, I'm sure what it is.
Yeah, we're also part of that tree. So I mean, if you water the root of our existence, you get full nourishment beyond. You also get full nourishment beyond your own capacity. Yeah. So actually, that's the real self-interest you're fulfilling. When you try to satisfy the mind and senses of this body, then actually it's not you that's getting satisfied. And actually, they never get satisfied. You know, they're always asking for more. It's kind of like putting fuel in the fire. So like the senses are pushing for gratification, and that's like a fire that burns. So then when you put fuel on it, I don't know if you've seen like a fire and you put like a whole bunch of petrol in it. it goes down for a bit, but then it just explodes, you know. So then that's why eventually you end up being frustrated. So two things can happen when you give into the senses is that you'll be satisfied for a short time, but then you become greedy and you want more, and then you lose your sense of morality because you want like a more intense experience, more intense satisfaction, more and more. That's why the Rolling Stones were singing, I can't get no satisfaction. It's like their most famous songs because everyone can identify with this, you know. And I try. So it's like, and they've done it, you know, they've to the full amount, but they still sing the song. You know, they haven't had like a part 2 of that, you know. We're like, yes, now I got satisfaction. No, it doesn't. I haven't heard that from them. So, we do need to maintain the body. Sense gratification is required, otherwise you die. But to the point where you don't, you do it within Krishna consciousness, not sinful activity. Like illicit sex, gambling, intoxication, and meat eating. That is not required for us. So sense gratification, okay, you say if you do need to gratify, Prabhupada give a positive to these regulative principles. So for meat eating, people who eat meat are addicted to flesh and blood, right? But if you take milk products, which is actually the blood of the cow transformed, and from milk you can make so many beautiful sweets and paneer and, you know, rasgulla and sweet rice, and it's so nourishing and so nice, and so you can satisfy that need for flesh and blood from taking milk products, and especially if you offer it. He said for intoxication, you can take prasadam and be intoxicated. Have you felt that before? You take so much and it happens sometimes, like we get invited to people's homes and they want to feed us prasadam. So when we first walk through the door, we're very respectful. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Mataji, thank you so much for allowing us to come to your home, and you know, you're very respectful, you're very orderly. But then after you've had, you know, prasadam, then you're laughing, you're screaming, you're like this, you know, you're slouching, you know, you just all the formality disappeared, you know. You're just laughing, oh, prasadam was so good, you know. So the devotees get intoxicated by prasadam. For illicit sex, we don't say no sex, but one can get married and have Krishna conscious children, which can benefit society. Instead of like these materialists having children like cats and dogs and, like, you know, causing havoc to society because their minds are so traumatized. So there's a whole science to conception that, you know, if the parents are, you know, spiritually minded and, you know, do what's required before the act, you know, getting blessings from different devotees, from superiors, from the Lord, and doing the Garbhadana Samskara, which is a ritual that prepares for putting the seed in the womb. And even it's advised to chant 50 rounds before taking up the act, both the mother and the father. So then a great soul will come into the womb. And then that soul is it's your duty to make sure they don't take birth again. You know, that they become liberated. So, and then that type of person, they benefit society. And you can see that in this movement, there's many children that are born and grew up in the movement. Like Nitai Padakamala, for him, he only knows how to be a devotee. He doesn't know anything else. Because his parents have brought him up so nicely. He's only had prasadam, he only knows kirtan. He's heard other stuff, what's going on outside, but he doesn't care about it because his parents have taught him so nicely. Like, he went to normal school, he don't care. He's not like oh, they tease about his haircut, and you don't care. And then they start looking up to him because he's so happy and so concentrated, and they have a special energy about that attracts others. So he's fortunate. He's one of these fortunate personalities that have come into our movement. And it's said that the demigods are lining up to take birth in this movement because it's never been so easy to become liberated, let alone to go to the highest realms of the spiritual world. So, yeah, sex life for Krishna conscious children is highly encouraged. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, like, he was a lifelong celibate, but he said, if I could have, Krishna conscious children to become pure devotees, I would have hundreds of children. I'll do it. Yeah. So yes, that sex life is allowed in that way. And then for no gambling, Prabhupada said Krishna consciousness is a gamble. Because you're going against the whole grain of society. So it's a big risk. So you can put it on the line. You feel like you're putting it on the line for Krishna. Put it all on black. Krishna is black. So, so in this way, we don't feel like we're neglecting ourselves, but we're actually nourishing ourselves more and more by deepening our relationship with Krishna. Nothing is, actually, to not have a relationship with Krishna, that's when you always feel incomplete. But if we have complete knowledge of the complete whole, then we don't feel incomplete. We don't experience that feeling. Is that okay?
Yes.
Any other thoughts? Reflections?
You see, Prabhu, nature is the natural way that you should love. I'm not something like that. You said nature.
Nature.
Something about nature in the So how can we get in touch with our natural way of living? With all these concrete jungles, or
Yeah.
we say we live in a concrete jungle.
Yes.
Just get in touch with that.
Yes.
Maybe on the weekend, some people work or whatever. Just a day or two.
Yeah, I mean, even you can be in Maya in the forest as well.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
It's depending on your consciousness, why you're going to the forest, your intention.
Yeah, for spiritual stuff.
So, like Krishna consciousness, it doesn't matter what the material situation is. It can be practiced anyway, even in hell. It's fine. But obviously, if you want to create a more conducive environment, the mode of goodness is recommended. So you would, if we had it, say for the temple, if it was all messy and stuff was everywhere, it's very hard for the mind to concentrate. Like if your home is like very cluttered, stuff is everywhere, then it's very hard to focus the mind. So mode of goodness means a clean environment. So the forest is considered like mode of goodness. The cities are like mode of passion. And Prabhupada said like the brothels and the bars are like mode of ignorance. So mode of goodness is very conducive. So if you're not able to go to the forest and be in such a place, like in Mumbai, they have this eco-village, Govardhan eco-village. So they've created like a replica of Vrindavan. It's 3 hours outside of Mumbai. It's a very beautiful place. So it's something like that. If you could go to a tree place like that, that'd be nice. Like, you go to Durban, the temple in Durban is like amazing. It just reminds you of Krishna. It's my favorite place to change up actually. You see all these pastimes of Krishna everywhere. It's like golden and like so epic. And then, they turn the lights off at the beginning of japa time. And then the sun comes up and comes through the windows. It's like, wow, you see the sunrise, and it actually lights up the whole room again. Just by the sun, Yeah. So like that, I go, my japa there is so good. For example. So you try and create the mode of goodness. If you can't, go to the forest. Is that a good?
Yes, yes.
Anyone else? Okay. Finish nice and early. Gantara Bhagavatam Ki. Shila Prabhupada Ki.